Welcome
Welcome
to Sleepdrunk.
Sleepdrunk, where I'm gonna dip my balls into some Thousand Island dressing. Because we all got depression.
You know.
It's been a little while since we recorded.
Yes, it has. It's been quite a while.
Yeah, we are now recording in person, actually. I can see all of your little body hairs. And like your
Not
pants.
all of them.
Like, most of them, I can like pull one.
But like, there's some that are hidden.
Yeah, I'm sure there are.
And then I'm going to keep them that way as well.
I hope you do.
And unless you just decide to get naked like you did on the last few episodes, you know?
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I think when we were recording in my apartment that I was like living in alone, I think I might have done one episode where I was just naked. Because, like, I lived alone. There was no one else to come in and check on me.
The police.
But, like, why?
Maybe you're unconscious.
But, like, I wasn't.
What if you were?
Well, beside the point, moving on. So, today on the episode, we're going to be covering a few things. We're going to talk about how we've moved into our new apartment on campus. And all of the fun that's come with that.
Oh, yes, all of it.
And I think after that, we're going to go into a time-honored Sleep Drunk tradition and reveal the pseudonyms we're using for our professors this semester, like the ones we did last semester. We're going to make a whole, we're going to have drum rolls. There's going to be strippers. It'll be great.
I don't really think the strippers fit in there, actually. Can you, like, tell them to not come?
Paid in advance.
Oh.
No refund.
I think we need to... Yeah, all right, fine. I guess we'll have strippers.
Yeah, so we will have strippers. So, let's get into our first topic, Alex. Do you want to start off with your move-in chronology? How that went down?
Sure. So, moving was really uneventful, actually. I just, like, had all my stuff packed up, threw it in 2 cars on Saturday, and then I drove up here with the family. Not like the Saturday that we moved in, not last Saturday.
Yeah.
And then sort of got up here around noon, which was like our designated move-in time. Got a bin, rolled it up.
Put things in the bin?
Put the things in the bin, and then I got the things out of the bin, and then, but like that time they were in my room,
Nice.
Yeah. And then the parents actually just my mom, my brother rolled out. And then I was like in an apartment, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah. What did you bring? Because 2 cars is quite a bit of stuff. Did you fill them all the way?
They're both full.
Okay. Were they as full as my car?
I didn't see your car, but also like somehow I still feel like I have less stuff than you.
Yeah, I packed my car really tight. I packed it really tight.
I mean, yeah, my car wasn't like full, but it was like the back seat, the passenger seat, the trunk completely full.
I had more space.
My brother has an Xterra, and all of the cargo room, the back seats are folded down, and all the cargo room was full as well.
No, mine was full, about as full as I could legally have it. Like any more, and I would have obstructed all of my mirrors and my ways of looking out.
Yeah.
So mine was very full. But I think, transitioning into my slightly more eventful move-in. So, fun fact, actually, the last episode that went up, which actually went up late, we apologize for that, but move-in has a habit of throwing wrenches into things, all the things. But so, we actually recorded that the night before move-in, and I still hadn't finished packing. I was most of the way done, but I wasn't all the way there yet. And so, I packed all my stuff up. Right, I thought I packed everything up, and I'll keep that in mind. I thought I did. Keep it in mind. And I want to say I woke up at like 8, maybe 7, and I finished packing, and I started loading my car. Right, and I was moving in by myself. I didn't have anyone to help me, and I happened to have this very heavy box, and this box contained all of my books, all of my old notes because I keep my old notes because archives.
Great.
All of my records, just stuff, right? It was incredibly heavy. Like, I was worried I wouldn't be able to lift it, so I almost broke my back carrying that down some stairs to my car. I moved a bunch of stuff, and at one point, I was legitimately worried I wouldn't have enough space in my car, and that I'd have to, like, either leave something behind, or, like, talk with the leasing office and ask if I could, like, leave this random box there and come back for it. But I think the way I had it set up was that I had like 2 medium-sized Home Depot moving boxes, a small one, some like drawers that I'd like taped, like some like plastic drawers, and a bunch of random other. And so I had to like pull my passenger seat. I drive a Volkswagen Passat for context. I had to pull my passenger seat all the way forward, put like my archive box in there, and then stack a box on top of that, fit a suitcase in there. I laid all of my like clothing that's on hangers flat on the back seat so I could put stuff on top of it. And it came to the point where I like to use my right side mirror, like to see behind me, the one that's like the little ear one. I don't know what the official name for it is. Side mirror.
Yeah,
side mirror. The side mirror. I had to like lean my head forward and look around a box. And so what I did was I set my mirror so that I would see the correct spot when I was like that. And so like my one mirror like looked completely normal, the other one was like super tilted in. I had to drive for a, not a very long distance by any means, but a sizable distance like that.
It's like 45 minutes,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, something like that. I think with traffic, so it's all moving day traffic.
Yeah,
and so I had to move all of that stuff. And of course, you know, I roll into the lot and I hit our chat. I'm like, hey guys, who wants to help me? Crickets. No one responded.
I don't remember seeing this.
Yeah, well, you might. Well, I put it in the chat.
Was I here? I was.
Yeah,
here.
you were. Yeah, because I moved in at like a 2.
I was here then.
Because I
definitely would have helped you. So I must like.
I think you might have been driving. Because I think you were out at that point with your friend, Kyle.
Oh yeah, I might have been.
But like our other flatmates were home, and I moved the first load of stuff by myself. Yeah, so I moved the first load of stuff by myself. I went out, got my box, got my keys, and fun fact actually, so our apartment is set up as 3 doubles, and I ended up switching rooms with Georgia and Bree because they wanted. So we have set up where there's like a girls' bathroom and a boys' bathroom, and they wanted to be by the girls' bathroom. And
I mean, it just made more sense.
Yeah, no, of course it did, but also I lost out on a very nice room.
You literally have 2 windows now.
They have 2 windows. Do they have 2 windows?
No.
They don't have 2 windows?
No.
Well, okay. But it's big, and space is nice.
Your room's also very large.
Yes. No, my room is...
I have the worst room here, so you can quit your bitching.
Okay, I will say, my room is a definite upgrade from last semester. We have 2 windows and, like, floor space.
Yeah.
We have, like, actual floor space, which is very nice.
My room might as well be my last semester room, although it is...
It's a longer.
Marginally larger.
It's, like, longer, right?
It's not longer. It's just wider.
Is it? I thought it was longer.
No, because after, like, the bed and the desk, and then there's, like, just that tiny little room between the desk and the closet, just like it was last year. When
oh, yeah, you're right, yeah. But, yeah, so I started moving myself to my room, and then I think midway through, Sean, our good friend, Alex's former roommate, pulled up and started helping me.
He was here when I was moving in.
Yeah, no, like, he went away to do something with Georgia and Bree and came back while I was moving in. So I moved all my stuff. He helped. He was very helpful. And then, I got my stuff in. I set up this very, I'm not going to say janky, but like odd shelf. I'll take a picture of it for the show notes. So I don't think there's anything here. Yeah, I'll just take a picture of it for the show notes. But it's like a wire shelf that sits on your desk and you put stuff in. And so as a result of this, get this, I have a desk I can put things on now.
It's crazy.
Because before, my desk was basically my bookshelf. So all my books were on my desk. So I just had like a monitor that was like crammed up against like a corner and like just barely enough space for my laptop. So now I actually have space that I have filled with random, like I have a bottle cap with a hole in it, beard oil, a bottle of like super glue that no longer dispenses glue.
I feel like we should stick a hot screwdriver into that.
Fumes. Some cork. That's gone. Okay.
Fume extractor. I made that.
Yeah. Okay, some cork grease, Cards Against Humanity. We should do a live Cards Against Humanity session.
I don't.
That'd be fun.
No.
That's good. If you guys want that for some sort of special, let us know. You can tweet us at SleepdrunkPC. Got a plug. And then just other random crap. Some papers, my lighter case. Yeah, just random stuff. So at some point I'll clean this up. Because the reason I haven't really gotten around to cleaning my desk up is that until today I had a setup in mind. I'll let you know about this setup for the listeners. Basically on my desk, right, I have a monitor and I have 3 sources of video. Right? I have my Switch, my Xbox, and my laptop when I have my laptop with me. Right? And so last semester what I would do is I ran my Switch to the Xbox TV in. And I learned about that from a video where a guy, for some reason, wanted 2 Xboxes running at the same time. And so ran his Xbox into his Xbox. For some reason. I have no idea why, but he did.
Wait, yeah, why couldn't you just run your laptop into your Xbox?
Well, no, because then I'd have to have my Xbox on if I want to, like,
just leave it on.
with an Xbox this old, leaving it on does bad things.
All right.
Does
fair.
very bad things. For context, I have like a first wave release Xbox One. Like it is from the first batch of Xbox Ones. It's like quite old now. But so like I have that, and I have my Switch, right? So originally I have my Switch running to my Xbox, and I just have to like fumble around with cords to plug my laptop in. But now what I've done is I have an HDMI switcher, and I have the switcher going to the computer, to the monitor, and then I have everything else routing to the switcher. And originally, actually, last night we hatched a harebrained scheme where we're going to hide the actual switcher behind my desk, and then run the wire out up front, but like
to a button.
Yeah, to like a separate button. But then I just kind of like stuck it there, and I figured we can do it later.
It's not going to happen now. We know
Yeah.
that, but we'll say it happens later.
It has the potential is there. Potential is there. But yeah, so that's my desk setup. And so now that is set, I set that today, I can actually like clean my desk up a bit and not have an excuse to have it dirty. That being said, it will get filthy again. But also, a fun fact about my room, and not advice of something you shouldn't do. So the way our rooms are set up, right, is that there's like a bed, then next to the bed is the desk, and then there's like a dresser under the bed. And basically the way it's set up is that there's this cave behind my bed where I've put stuff. And while that puts the things in a place where they're very much away, it's impossible to access. So I've called it Narnia. And so to get to Narnia, I have to like pull out one of my drawers, crawl around behind my dresser, and then access Narnia. And I also have a set of drawers on top of my fridge.
I also have this problem in my room, but I just don't have anything to put behind the dresser, so I'd never need to go back there.
See, the thing is that like I have to have all of my stuff for the year. And so a lot of that stuff was like just transport for like winter clothes and stuff. And like other random odds and ends. Because like since my parents are overseas, I have to have everything I need for the year.
Yeah.
And that's my room.
I mean, as of now, I have everything I need for the year, but I still have some personal belongings that are at home.
Alexa, stop.
Jeff Bezos trying to...
We're keeping that in. My Echo just kind of... So, actually, fun fact. This is some legitimate consumer advice, because this is the Grand Tour. When the holiday season rolls around, I did this last year, I bought 2 Echo Dots for like $50. They were half off. Great purchase. I mounted mine to the wall because wall mount everything. And like, it's really nice.
I think you should wall mount your bed with command strips. Do it.
Bet.
Do it.
Alright, cool. Next episode, Alavi dies from falling command strip bed death. Words.
Gone Wild.
Alex, do you want to talk about your
Please
new...
come.
Yes. You want to talk about your new roommate?
So...
Okay, so for context, for those of you who haven't heard the housing debacle episode, which we recommend, I think is a pretty good episode. Like, legitimately, I think it was one of our better ones. The way our original setup was is that it was me, Michael, Georgia and Bree, and then Alex and our friend Juicy J. Not the deity, but just he's named after Juicy J. Long live Juicy J.
And Juicy J, he was in on that with the idea that we were going to get an apartment in another building where both he and I would have our own single rooms, and then Michael and Alavi would have their double, and Georgia and Bree would have their double. Except...
We didn't get that.
We didn't get that because the housing department just sort of lies.
Once again, go back and listen to that episode. It'll fill us in on
more information.
But long story short, he ended up leaving the group.
Yeah, we got a different building, and then there was a double room,
and he couldn't
handle it, so, and then he went elsewhere.
Yeah, and so now Alex got stuck in with a random.
And we should give him a pseudonym just because, like. Yeah, we should.
Ivan.
All right. Yeah. So, my new roommate Ivan, he's
a character.
He's a character. He's like I'll be the first to admit there could be much worse.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So he really didn't I guess even introduce himself to us. He just sort of said hi after my first encounter with him went as follows. Right. He walks in the door after he'd already been here, and he just didn't bother to say anything to anybody. And
Yeah, it's like, for context,
I just
right?
walk in my room after not being in it for like, I don't know, 15 minutes, and I just see a basketball and a set of keys on his bed. It's like, well, okay. And we're all hanging out in the living room a little while later, and he shows up again. He comes in the door, and I said, "Hey, my name's Alex. Nice to meet you."
You know, into the pleasantries.
Yeah, and he just looks at me and he just goes, like, "Hi," or something.
Yeah,
Like, he just like
you know.
says very quietly, like, "Hmm," and he just goes to his room. So it's like, all right, Ivan.
Cool.
Good to meet you too. You know, and then our first encounter, like actually talking to this man.
Later in the day.
Later in the day, we're all hanging out around, talking about some food and some other things, and
Just like generally small talk.
yeah, small talk. And then he sort of joins into the conversation, shares his 2 cents, I guess, about nutrition.
Yeah. We're talking about like the keto, like the ketogenic diet, and how like high fats is actually like not that bad because there's a whole idea that fat makes you fat when like carbs do. And he was talking about all this other stuff, right? And like, so we're having this conversation, right? It's chill, okay? And I think you were like doing the dishes, right? And at this point, he got some, like he bought like a sandwich from like a local place, like a place in the area, right? I'll just say a regional chain. It's called Firehouse Sub. It's like a sandwich shop, right? And so he just kind of pulls up. He comes up to me and just kind of hands me this wrinkled up coupon, mumbling about how we all down bad and we have no groceries and I can use this coupon. And he just gave me this wrinkled up Firehouse coupon. And so I just stuck it to our fridge with a magnet and it's still there. And I plan to use it.
You are one Firehouse coupon richer.
I plan to use it. And then like later on, he brought it back up.
That same thing?
No, because we're talking about getting groceries. Like, yo, man, use that coupon. You know, you don't have to do groceries today. Like toilet paper.
I mean, yeah, like how we gonna? But
Actually, speaking of toilet paper, so on our first night, right, when we drove up to the
oh my
WEG.
god, that's another story. Yeah,
It's a quick story. I mean, we got a bit of time, right? Yeah, we got some time. We got enough time for the story.
We're at Wegmans. We're just sticking around at Wegmans. We don't know where anything's at, so we're just kind of all over the store.
Yeah, we're like just like getting a few
in
basic, like, you know, milk,
yeah,
sandwich,
just
meat.
some things to start off.
Yeah.
And we need to just get some toilet paper to like last the night, basically,
Yeah.
so we can get to Costco and get like a big thing of toilet paper. But then we're over there, right? And we're talking about where can we find the good, right? Like what's going to be the good toilet paper? It's like it's nice and soft. It's you know, it's not going to rip a hole through. You're not going to have any accidental prostate exams in the bathroom. You know,
like no residue,
no
like
residue, no left behind
the good
TP
stuff.
pieces, the good and
good stuff.
Yeah, and like you're trying to save a little money too. So we're just like, should we buy like a reasonable size package, or should we get just like a tube or two?
Yeah. And while we're doing that, this random girl, like, just comes up and she's like, get this stuff. It's the good shit. We're like, all right, cool. And we just kind of disregarded it. Right?
Yeah.
And we keep going. And she hangs out in the aisle waiting for us to get it. And we leave because we forgot to grab something. We come back. She's still there. She like, we're once again looking. She recommends it again. She's like, yo, this is the good shit. Like, I'm telling you, this is it. And I'm like, all right, I guess I think it was Scott's.
Yeah, it's like Scott's. It's
Like,
nothing super special.
Like
It's
the
just
Scott's
toilet paper.
1000.
Yeah.
That's like, we got it. And like, basically we ended up just getting it. Because it's like, if she's that persistent, there has to be something.
Like, there has to be something about it, right? I mean, like, it's pretty good.
It's fine. Like, it gets the job done.
Yeah, I mean...
And then a little bit more. Like, it's not caviar.
It isn't.
But like, it's solid. Scott's 1000.
Pretty good toilet
But
paper.
she was so insistent.
Yes, she really was.
But so now we have a lot of that toilet paper.
Yes, we do. I mean, like, I guess I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah,
It's like,
it's fine.
It's like high quality toilet paper, but like the thinnest high quality toilet paper, but it still manages to be like good.
Yeah. Although, like, part of me wants to just kind of like next time go and get like the really good stuff.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking like the Rolls Royce of toilet paper.
Let me afford this.
Talking the Charmin like Mondo
duty.
Strong, the Charmin heavy duty Kevlar silk,
I need Kevlar.
heavy duty Kevlar gold thread silk toilet paper.
Might as well use some steel wool at that point. I feel like that's what it would probably feel like.
No, but like it's like silk. There's silk.
But it's not.
It's like
But
gold
it's not.
threads.
It's just not going to be silky.
Next week, toilet paper reviews.
Kevlar and Gold edition.
Yep. So that was that story. And I think that about wraps up our moving experience. It wasn't super eventful, but I feel like it was still interesting. And it was something that we figured that, like, if we want to talk about it, it would take up all of Discussion Avenue. And there's no point doing that.
Yeah.
And so now you guys know about that. And you know about Ivan. You know about... also, another thing about him, one night we made spaghetti, and he just talked about how important seasoning was and, like, showed off his seasoning.
He did show off his seasoning.
He's like, man, it's all about that seasoning. If that's what's about, that seasoning.
He told us we could use his seasoning.
Like, I got the seasoning. You got to
But
use
also
it.
he requested that we do not empty his seasoning. Because, like, if he goes and sees his seasoning's empty, he's going to be a little mad.
Yeah, rightly so. That's the
So,
seasoning.
I mean, like, yeah, right.
And that's what it's all about. It's all about that seasoning.
It is.
All about that seasoning. So, with that said, listeners, now it's time we cook the meth of chat in the RV of lack of transitions and debate that's parked right under a light on Discussion Avenue.
Yeet.
That was the least smooth trend. Okay, so for little peer behind the curtain here, when we do Discussion Avenue, right, we pick the statement beforehand, and we have like a Google sheet with a bunch of them, like a ton of them, right? And normally, like, you put the number on the sheet, like number 12 or whatever. You put that on the show notes, and you go and reference it. I put number 39.
Never do that. Like, if I pick one, I just put it on the sheet.
Yeah, but it's like, ideally, that's what it says in the template we use. But so it's like, I put number 39, and I wrote one into 39, and it just kind of, I think that was when, like, the internet I was connected to cut out for a second, and it didn't actually go up. So,
Yep, because the last edit was made on August 15th by Alex.
Yep. So, moving on, Alex, how have your past 2 weeks been, actually, since coming back?
My past 2 weeks have been just fine, I guess. Since the last recording, which was just before move-in, classes have started.
What's your class load this year?
Yeah, I guess that's a good place to start.
Yeah,
so my course load is fairly light, all things considered. Yeah. I'm taking just less than the standard amount of credits. I believe I have 13.
That's good.
I think so.
That's real good. Wow.
I don't know that. Anyway.
It's real good.
Got me some linear algebra, like matrices and things like that.
Fun.
I'm taking some, what is it called? Signal analysis, I believe.
Some ECE.
Yeah, some engineering classes. That class is, like I said at the dinner table today, most, if not all, math makes sense to me, at least in some capacity. But this stuff doesn't make any sense at all.
But like 2 + 2 is 4. -1, that's 3.
But like,
dead memes.
add these sinusoids that are represented as complex numbers.
Oh.
Whatever that is. And like,
I'm helping teach a math class. I don't like that.
Give me that phaser.
I'm helping teach a math class. I don't like that.
No, it's
that
pretty
one bit.
nasty. And our labs for that class are completely, like 100%, all of the way based on MATLAB.
For better or worse.
I must say, as much as I hate MATLAB, just because of my awful introduction to it, I know how to use it now, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah, and I think a lot of stuff is like it's just a learning curve, right?
But like throwing Calc 1 students into MATLAB is a horrible idea.
Yeah.
Why did they do that?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Shouldn't have.
I have that along with Physics 2 and the lab that goes with that. And finally, Reading the Past, a history of science.
Automatically.
My Bolton College, I have to take this class of the semester.
Yes.
What's your course load like?
So mine, I guess, is transitioning to mine. Before I talk about my course load, I want to illustrate how your semester is basically opposite to mine. So I'm taking 16 credits and I'm working as a course assistant, right? So I think to illustrate how this kind of works, all right, I'm going to run you through last Tuesday, or Tuesday before last Tuesday. What I like to call the Mach 10 Borough moment of days. I think probably the single most brutal day of like my college career. So I wake up a little bit late, right? I have back-to-back classes starting from 10:30, right? So I wake up, I end up missing breakfast. I run to class, right? Go through classes. Right after class, I have a meeting with the TA that I'm working under. Go to my meeting, right? At this point, it's like 2-ish, I think. Yeah, it's like 2-ish, so I haven't eaten anything in the day, right? After back-to-back classes. Right after that, I jump into audition prep, because I'm auditioning for a jazz band. So I jump right into audition prep. Still no meal, okay? 3 o'clock, I go in for my audition. Found out I went in the wrong day. I was supposed to come, the day before. But they were cool and let me audition anyway. So I go in, I audition, I come back, I have breakfast at 4 p.m. All right, I get to rest an hour and a half, then I'm off to work, right? I meet my kids, I introduce myself, Actually, I came into work late. I'm working as a course assistant, so I go into recitations and help the kids, right? Help the students. Some of them are actually older than me, so I shouldn't say kids, but help the students, right? I go in, I meet my students, I help them out, I explain Cavalier's principle 500 times. And then right after work, right?
Got some spoon students.
No, they're not spoons. Okay, well, I'll explain spoons later.
They're forks.
Spoon is a very special term.
Or are they forks?
They're butter knives.
They're butter knives, okay.
Because they're still learning. It's the first day of Calc 2.
All right.
So, I'll explain this analogy
the same
later.
thing 500 times, though.
Yes. I know, because I explained it to different people.
Yeah, okay.
But so, right after that, right, you think, oh, I have a break. At this point, it's 7:10. Straight to class. My intermediate microeconomics, I hop right on in. And finally, I shamble back to our apartment at 10:15. We had a floor meeting set for that night at 10:30, right? We're planning, sit down, go over all the rules, all the things,
and we're getting all settled down to do just that. Ooh, right. The fire alarm goes off.
So at this point, it's been 10:30. I've had one meal this day. The fire alarm's gone off for the third time in 24 hours. So I say, yeet as loud as I can, threaten to detonate a chemical weapon, go downstairs. I actually did say that. I was like, you know what?
Yes, he did.
Might as well just set off a chemical weapon. I've been watching The Blacklist. That's all you need to... That'll explain it. And so finally we get back. We hop right into this floor meeting, right? We go in. We're running. A little bit of drama happens, but it's all good. Finally, 11:30. I have my second meal of the day at the dining hall.
It was a day. It was a day.
It was a day. So I'm taking, in case you can tell from that, intermediate microeconomics. I am course working. I'm helping out a Calc 2 class. I'm taking a class on data structures, which is actually taught in Java. I thought it was taught in C, but it's taught in Java. Then I'm taking reading the past, history of emotions class, which has actually turned out to be really interesting, but I'll talk about more about that during our next segment. Then I'm taking a stats class, which I'll also talk about because I have some funny remarks regarding that. I'm taking a seminar course for being a course assistant. It's just you have to take it for your first time, so I'm taking that. And I'm taking a class on the War on Terror, which hasn't met yet. But hey, Michael, do you want to say hi?
Oh, hey, everybody.
Hey, guys, Michael. He's still in my room. Want to say something to the listeners?
I'm also in this War on Terror class with Alavi.
Yeah.
What are you saying about it? You ready to trash talk it with me?
Actually, do you want to guest join us for the next segment? I'm going to talk about it.
Ooh, boy. Maybe I guess I have to.
All right, so I guess we're going to quickly transition out of Discussion Avenue and go into our next segment where we reveal the pseudonyms for our professors. Since Michael is here, I'm going to start off with my War on Terror professor, who I've given the pseudonym of Professor...
Great pseudonym.
Because... Michael, here, come in. Explain why I feel that way. Explain.
So, as Alavi mentioned earlier, we're 2 weeks into the school year, and our class hasn't actually met yet.
Yeah, because our professor was at a conference for the first week, and then after that was Labor Day, and we meet on Mondays.
Mm-hmm. And then she sends us an email, I think it was 2 days ago, was it?
I think 2 or 3 days ago.
2 or 3 days ago, and it says, read this entire book, and then write a 2 to 3 page paper on it.
Our class hasn't met yet. I've seen her once in a really janky video chat in 2 to 3 page paper. There you go. She gives us a whole academic journal.
Read it.
So like
in like 4 days. In addition to all the other work you have, because, you know.
Oh, you don't have any because you don't have a life, actually.
Yeah.
Because, you know, trust me, you don't.
Yeah, my life's that class.
According to my physics professor, I'm expected to study 7 to 9 hours every week out of class.
How many credits?
4.
It's 1 hour out of class per credit. That's how it's supposed to work.
No.
Sucks to be a STEM major, man.
I mean, at least I don't have to take physics 3 anymore, so you know what? I'm not complaining.
You're getting your physics 3 work now.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. So that is the pseudonym, Professor. That's gonna become really annoying to say, but we'll roll with it for now. So I'm gonna have that class with her, Alex. Why don't you fire off your first pseudonym, since I think I have more classes than you.
While Alex pulls up his schedule on his phone, I'm gonna dip. Bye, y'all.
Bye, Michael.
Study hard, go to church, and always stay sleep drunk, kids.
All right, so for my first professor, it doesn't even share the same letter, but I feel like it's only fitting to call my linear professor Professor Seinfeld.
Okay, explain this to the listeners.
So, you know, I've never really watched Seinfeld. I've seen like an episode, and I know who Jerry Seinfeld is, and that's really about my prior experience with this, but I feel like anybody would be willing to say that he's a very distinct person.
Yes.
And my first 2 classes in there, I didn't sit with anybody that I knew. So I didn't have this little, you know, thing sitting on my shoulder saying this to me. But the last class that I was in there, I sat with somebody that I did vaguely know, an acquaintance from last year. And he's like, you ever thought about how this professor is just sort of looks and sounds a lot like Jerry Seinfeld? I'm like, no, I haven't at all, but I'll try to notice that. Man stands right up, and just the way he talks, I just don't know how to describe it. He could be a voice actor in place of Seinfeld. Like, it is impeccable.
I mean, that's kind of cool.
It is kind of cool that I have Seinfeld teaching me math.
Yeah, like that's pretty cool. How's the class been so far?
The class has been all right. I'm actually a little bit behind right now. I should be probably catching up, but the content's like mostly easy. So, and I have the weekend, so yeah. I'll be fine.
Yeah. I think my next professor is actually have a note with all of them on here. So my stats professor, right? She's a pretty nice old like Southern woman from like South Carolina. She's really nice, you know, she's sweet. She said one of the hardest parts about installing Jump, which is like a statistical package we use, is unzipping the file, and we got to make sure to unzip the file. And we use a homework software called Wiley Plus. And the way she says it is Wiley Plus. And so I decided to look up.
All right, y'all, we're gonna have to get on Wiley Plus.
And so I decided to call her Professor Sophomore. Because I googled Southern words that start with J, and that came up. It is Jauntsamore. I don't know how to say it, but
Johnsonmore. Yeah.
So Professor Johnsonmore, because of her pronunciation of Wiley Plus.
Wiley Plus.
And like, she's really nice. Like, I like her, but it's like she just is the most. You can tell she's not the most technologically literate at times.
That's like most professors, though.
But like her especially.
Even BPP, he does the same.
Like, but the class itself is pretty cool. Like, it's an intro stats class that's like accelerates as an honors class. So it's interesting. Like, we're talking about like the types of like statistical distributions and stuff like that. Nothing super crazy. And we're also using Jump as our statistical language, and we're going to start doing R at the end of the semester. If you guys know statistical packages. But that's about that, Professor. Thank you, Echo, for beeping. Yeah, that's about it for stats. It's a pretty straightforward stats class. Alex, how about your next one?
So for my next professor, physics, right? Physics 2, we have Professor Bergenrose.
There's no way they're gonna guess that. What's Professor Bergenrose like?
Professor Bergenrose is like literally the nerdiest woman that you can possibly even imagine.
Okay, in a good way or a bad way?
Like neither. It's just like a thing. Like,
would you buy her bathwater?
No, but like she has a very awkward laugh because I wouldn't buy any bathwater. That's just weird. She just has like a really awkward laugh that she uses to like handle situations that are awkward with some people, because there's a lot of very weird people in my class. Mm-hmm. I was having a discussion with somebody that I'm in that class with, and I was talking about all of the very weird people that I'm now sitting with, because, you know, she treats the class like it's a high school class and we move tables like every other class, and it's really annoying, and I really wish that would stop. But it's like an alt class, so we're more engaged.
Active learning.
Yeah, that.
Actually, that's what I'm covering in my seminar class.
But, you know, I'm supposed to work with people, but the people won't work with me just because they're weird and they won't talk. So it's just like, okay, I hate this. And, well, like, one of the guys, he's too talkative. Like, he wouldn't shut up, just saying little things during the quiz. It's like, my guy, be quiet.
It's a quiz. You're not supposed to talk. Like, this is high school.
He wasn't talking about the quiz necessarily, but like he would just make like little offhand comments about things in a silent room. It's like, my guy, what are you doing? And then, yeah, that's my table. And then, according to this individual, there's a person at their table that was very obviously high and reeked of weed.
Okay.
Just like, you know, let me get high and go to class. Said no probably intelligent person ever.
Yeah. That being said, I know a guy who like graduated from Brown with really high grades that got high and went to class all the time.
Why though?
Because he could. Because
it's gonna
what
not
state
gonna help,
is Brown in?
It's not gonna help you pay attention. I don't know.
I think it's in one of the states where it's legal, so it just kind of went. I mean, like, he got good grades.
It's not gonna help you pay attention. It's not gonna like.
But like, it'll make the lecture a lot more funny.
It will, and it's gonna make you look a lot more high.
That it will. Don't do drugs, kids.
Don't do drugs. Yeah, that's physics for you.
Yep. Well, I guess with that being said, I guess my next professor, I'm gonna go with. I got a lot of professors. Yeah, I'm just gonna go with my man. I'm gonna call him Dr. Phil, and that's just because this man, especially in person, bears a striking resemblance to Dr. Phil. He could be a Dr. Phil understudy. Like, I swear, he's my jazz band director. Actually, fun fact, I made it as the first tenor saxophone in one of the big bands at my school, which is super cool. But yeah, I actually have to buy a tenor saxophone for that, which I haven't talked about in Discussion Avenue. That'll be a segment on its own. But he's actually a super nice guy. The band is super, it's just fun. It's a standard big band, but he looks so much like Dr. Phil. Like, it's spooky. Like, it's like actually I thought about Dr. Phil and his face came up. Like, that's how much he looks like Dr. Phil. Maybe it is just Dr. Phil teaching the class. I don't know.
I saw the photo and I don't...
The photo I sent you is outdated. There aren't very many pictures of him online.
I could sort of see it. He has the exact same haircut and facial trimming.
Yeah, but it's like it looks different in person. And that picture I sent Alex is quite old. Like, I think it was from like around the turn of the century. So it's an old picture. But like, yeah, he looks so much like Dr. Phil. And I love it. And he's actually a super cool guy. So yeah, that is Dr. Phil, my jazz director. Alex, what you got next?
For next, I'm going to do Reading the Past, a History of Science. And I have a professor that's like, he's like a fairly chill dude, I guess. But like, he still did make us buy a book that he wrote. And I will never forgive any professor that does that. So, you know... There's just that looming over my rating. My experience, my rating for the man. Mm-hmm. But he does have... He's like a slightly older Liam Neeson that has Parkinson's.
Liam Neeson with... That's the pseudonym, Liam Neeson with Parkinson's.
Yes, that he is Dr. Liam Neeson with Parkinson's.
All right, cool. That seems pretty cool, actually. Like, Liam Neeson with Parkinson's teaching you.
But he just sort of like, he just has like a low, calm voice, and he just has the face of Liam Neeson. But he's like...
So we're saying we actually our school's actually in like Hollywood?
Yes,
and Dr. Phil and Liam Neeson teach here.
Like, you've probably never heard of the school because it's like kept secret by Hollywood, you know?
Yeah. Yep. Hollywood, Dr. Phil, Liam Neeson with Parkinson's. So I guess my next professor is also going to be for Reading the Past, a History of Motion. And that is going to be, I've given him the name Paul Sturgeon. And I actually have to kind of be careful here because apparently he's sort of famous, like, in the history world. Like, he did some, like, wrote some, like, pretty important books and, like, worked on some curriculums. But he's this, like, just really nice old dude. And I like him. And here's the thing, we're reading one of his books, but it's actually a good book. Like, it comes recommended, like, well outside of, like, that field. Like, outside of, like, his class. And he is an authority in the field. Like, he's been around since, like, it got going, and he helped kind of, like, he was one of the initial emotional historians. And so I feel like it actually makes sense to read his book, because, like, he's been a pioneer in this field. And so, like, the book, it's not, like, it's a pretty solid book. Like, I like it. It's fine. Easy reading. The class is cool. It's interesting, because he doesn't, like, really lecture. He just kind of has, like, what he calls, like, sessions. Like, it just comes up, he's like, hey, guys, so, like, what do you think about family?
Guys, it's Austin.
You're gonna spoil a future segment for next week.
Take that as you will.
But so it's like he just be like, all right, let's talk about family. What do you think some of the differences between family 300 years ago and family now? We just spent like an hour and a half talking about that. And he's like, he'd just be like, yeah, that's right. No, that's wrong. And that's it. And something funny happened a little while ago, actually. I had a little moment there, but so we were talking about like American exceptionalism. I guess we're talking about that worries me. We're talking about American exceptionalism, and like people were like, so like he was asking, oh, so what constitutes that mindset, right? And someone said, oh, like how our educational system is so good. And he was just kind of like, and I respond, he was just like, no,
no.
He just said, just like, no, it's not. He just straight up was like, it's just not good.
I mean, like, have you been there?
He's just like, compared to like most other developed countries, it's not good. That's not an aspect of American exceptionalism.
I've never heard anyone ever say that it's good.
It's like, normally he like lets them make the argument. Like, even if he doesn't think it's correct,
but
he
this
gives
one
you a
is just
chance.
so bad that
he just said no. He just said no. Like, so it's, yeah, like normally he'll just be like, all right, what's your rationale there? Like he'll at least let you pursue that thread of thought and then see what you can get from it. He just said no. He was just like, we're just not having that discussion.
He is correct. I mean, like, you can't argue with numbers.
Objectively, we just don't do as good.
It's bad.
Yeah. So that's Paul Sturgeon. And the reason I call him Sturgeon is because, like, since he's old, his face sags a little bit like a fish. Like, yeah.
You know, fish boy.
Shadow of Innsmouth. I have that on the shelf.
So this name, I looked up German last names that start with P, and I found this one just amusing. So...
Do you want me to say it like in a proper German accent?
Sure. So for my next class, that's going to be my engineering class that I'm doing sinusoids and complex numbers in right now.
Is he a doctor?
He is a doctor.
It'll be Dr. Pappenheim.
So yeah, there you go.
Pappenheim. I like Pappenheim.
He has an impeccable pronunciation of Euler. You know, the famous Swiss mathematician.
But known in the West as Euler.
Euler. People, am I right?
Yeah, but like the Swiss are white.
But I mean, like, American white people, because, like, they're like a whole different breed. They are.
So you're saying eugenics? You heard it here first. Today on Sleep Drunk, you heard it here first.
Yeah, you heard it here, Weech.
Today on Sleep Drunk, Alex is a eugenicist.
I'm also Hitler.
Yes. Moving on, how's the class?
It's pretty good. I really don't care for the content, and I feel like it's going to be very boring, and I don't know anybody in there, but the professor, Dr. Pappenheim, he's all right. He's a pretty good guy, I must say. The homework is a bit intense, but I feel like if I have to take the material, he's probably the guy to take it with.
Yeah, straight up.
Yeah.
So I guess my next class is going to be my economics class, and I say this with the utmost of seriousness. My pseudonym for my econ professor is going to be Awesome Hipster. Because if you Google the word hipster, you'll get a picture of him. He's got the haircut, he's got the glasses, he's got the beard, he's got the outfit, he's got the demeanor. Like, he is the definitive hipster, but he's also a pretty cool guy. Like, he gives interesting lectures, and like, here's the thing. So he teaches the class much like a discussion type class, but it actually really works. And I think a lot of that is because our class is very small. It's like 9 people. And so we just sit in a circle and he'll be like, hey, so what do you guys think about like Mises? And we'll talk about Mises for a while and like why it matters and like the different models. And I think it's just the way he does it works really well. Like
what class is
econ, my intermediate micro. And so I just think the way that he runs the discussions is very effective. And I feel like it's one of those cases where like just throwing people in a circle and asking them to talk will rarely work. But like he'll pose the right questions to send people in the right direction. So he's actually pretty cool and I like him. And he calls everyone Mr. or Miss, and that's cool. And he uses their last name.
All right.
So like, yeah, Mr. Smith, what do you think? I'm like, yeah, that's kind of cool. He's a cool guy. He's a grad student.
People always tend to do that with me because of my last name. Like, regardless of if they do it with anyone else, I'm very used to that. But
Yeah.
I feel like most people probably aren't.
But Awesome Hipster is pretty cool. I like Mr. Hipster.
All right. For mine, I feel like I need some advice from you.
Okay.
For my physics lab, I have a guy that Alavi committed me for my new growing ability to identify brown people.
Yeah, it's a skill. It's actually a skill. She's like Chaudhry or something. Because like everyone's called Chaudhry.
All right. I can't
Professor
even pronounce Chaudhry.
Chaudhry, yeah.
Did I say that right?
It's like Chowdhury.
Chaudhry. All right. So that, yeah. He's just like I'm pretty sure he's just like a grad student that supervises a lab. That's like what they all are.
Yeah.
Just some guy, you know? Pretty chill dude. I don't really have anything to say about him.
Yeah.
He's like taught how to do partial derivatives better than the last lab guy, which is just like awful at lecturing.
So my next one is, I'm just gonna go with, I couldn't think of one, so I just went with Russet. And like,
What is he, an MF and potato?
I mean, actually, like, she does sort of give off potato vibes, but she's chill. She's my CS professor. Like, I genuinely get like,
mean, man.
not in a bad
That's
way.
mean.
Potatoes are great.
Nah, you can't backtrack over that. You just said that this person gives off potato vibes, dude.
She's pretty chill though. I like her.
That's
She's
just not how this works.
She's my CS professor. She's like, she has a PhD, and like she worked in industry for a while. Like, so she didn't just like get her PhD and start teaching. She actually like worked in the field, and so she has that like degree of experience, which is kind of cool. So she's my data structures professor. The class has been interesting. Like, we have a project on the horizon that I don't even know how I'm going to make time for, but it like, we haven't actually done a ton of coding. We've mostly talked about like characteristics of structures. Like, this is how a hash map works. This is how a dynamic array works. And it's weird because it's like when we program in Java, it's like, oh, hey, you know, just import array list and then you have a dynamic array. My professor's like, no, you don't import array list. You make array list. So we have to learn how to make dynamic arrays. But it's cool.
Isn't that just sort of handled by like a big array where you also have a number that keeps track of how many things there are in?
Yeah, basically the way it works is that like you have an array with a size and a capacity.
Yeah.
And so what you do is you track the size, and then the rest of the capacity is null. And if you reach capacity, you make a bigger array and then copy everything over. And so, like, that's why they're, in most cases, marginally more efficient than just having an array that resizes every time you implement to. Actually, significantly more efficient. Actually, we also learned about, like, big O efficiency and, like, how you measure computational efficiency, which is kind of cool.
That would be something that's nice to know, but,
yeah,
you know.
But it's actually pretty interesting. It's like, I think she ran a program that just, like, counts to 1,000 then beeps. No, it counts to 2 million and then just beeps, right? And then she had it count to log 2 million. Like, she set it run to count to like 2 million, and then like 5 minutes later it beeped, right? Set it to log 2 million, it took like 10 seconds. And so that she was like feeling like how like just like very simple things like making sure you structure a loop correctly can have huge runtime implications. So I think that's actually pretty interesting, and I feel like something that if you want to go into programming, it's something you should look into. It's like learning how to
you should probably know that.
Yeah.
Also, I had an idea, and I wonder if it's possible. I was thinking of this in class today. I wonder if it would be possible to invent a new programming language that sort of the compiler rewrites itself in order to be the most efficient possible way of writing it. Like it sort of transcribes a language into another, maybe, with like the most efficient way of doing everything to like optimize for the shortest runtime.
But Temple OS.
If
you guys don't know about Temple OS, let's go on the show notes. Frederick Knudsen made a video on Temple OS. That's interesting.
Just a bit, but you know, like I feel like that could be like an actual like business model.
That could be interesting. Yeah, that could be. How would you make that work?
Like you'd have to have it like understand what you were trying to accomplish instead of
exactly.
like,
because you'd have to convey intention, not just an algorithm.
I don't know.
You have to have an algorithm to understand intention, which I can imagine there'd be like.
I feel like it wouldn't be
markers in the code that you could use.
Like I feel like it just wouldn't be impossible, you know?
I feel like it wouldn't be impossible. I feel like it's one of those things where like making it run. I think it's not a matter of like whether it's doable. It's a matter of if it is it a net positive. Because I feel like potentially making that thing run for the amount of time saved, would it be worth implementing a new compiler? Because I think another thing that Professor Russet told us with her potato vibes was that like. Just because you can make something more efficient doesn't mean you should. Like there's some instances where like there's some instances where let's say a search takes 5 minutes. Is it worth having one of your programmers spend a week trying to make it half a second faster?
Well, okay, that's sort of where the business model comes in.
Yeah, exactly.
It makes that more available.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So instead of spending that whole week and trying to make your algorithm faster, you just know that it's faster.
Yeah.
Because you're using this, you shell out a few more dollars, you know, and you got this compiler that's like, yo, it's faster.
I think it's just be a matter of implementation then, and like how you would implement it.
Yeah.
That could be interesting.
But I feel like it would be a very doable business model. You could probably get rich off of. You're welcome, guys. Do it. Make it happen.
If you know what a compiler is.
Yeah, that, you know.
Or like what big O efficiency is.
Or really how to
code.
What computer science is. Or
not even like what computer science is, but like what a programming language is.
Yeah.
Because computer science
people probably
is like...
say they know what it is, but like, do you actually know what it is?
It's like there's a difference between knowing how to code and understanding
what's
a
going
programming
on.
language.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's the difference between knowing a few French words and being able to speak French. Like knowing a few French phrases. Like I say, like, je m'appelle Alavi, je parle anglais et allemand and Bengali. Like, I know a French phrase.
Pardon his French.
Pardon my French. But like, it's different. That's different for me than just like having a conversation in French.
Yes.
Because like, just you can be like, oh, haha, while true equals true, print you're dumb, haha.
Hello world.
Press this button for hello world. I've used Code Academy. I mean, actually, if you want to learn how to program, Code Academy is pretty solid for the basics.
Do you have any more professors?
I have many more professors, actually. We should keep going. Yes. So that's Professor Russet. Honorable mention for, I'm going to call him Mark Howard. He is the TA I'm working with for the one and only Joseph Hart.
Isn't that the Bethesda guy? Doesn't matter. Go on.
Well, okay, so I'm just going to call...
Todd Howard. Never mind.
Yeah, okay, there we go. So I'm just going to call him Mark Howard. He's super cool. Actually, he's just chill dude, but like, he gives a very 70s beat cop aesthetic. He has the burns. He's got the mustache. He's got the hair. He's a pretty cool guy. I like him. He's nice to work under. Like, he's a no bullshit kind of guy. He'll just like tell it how it is. He's not going to like try and make things like he's not rude, but doesn't make things unnecessarily complicated.
Yeah.
I like him. It's all you could ask for. He's a really nice guy.
I can appreciate that.
Are you out of professors?
No, I have one more.
Okay, hit him.
All right, so my next professor, I'm going to call him by his name because it is just not going to give him away. He's a very stuttery guy. He's my boy Wong, you know, because there's two ways of spelling that. And if you combine those two ways, there's somewhere probably in the neighborhood of hundreds of millions of people that share that name.
Just Wong?
Just Wong. Like somewhere in there.
Yeah.
There's no way you're going to find him. So good luck with that. They're not. Like, I'm not even going to because I'm just that confident.
All right, fair. So what's Wong like?
He's a very stuttery guy. He repeats everything quite a few times. But like not like stuttering, just like bad at English stuttering.
Okay.
And then it's like actually really painful to listen to him explain MATLAB while he's doing that. So I just like kind of figure it out on my own. And that's about all I have to say about him.
I mean, okay. I think I only have one left as well. That one quite well.
Our professors don't really have that strong personalities because they purposely picked ones that are like pretty good, other than the obviously the TAs because you don't even know who they are.
I feel it's one of those things where like over time we'll learn more about them.
Yeah,
and like they'll find their quirks. My next guy, I'm gonna just call him. I couldn't think of anything, so I just went with Big Man Dry Cleaning.
What?
And like Big Man Dry Cleaning. Big Man is one word. Alex can see it on the notes I have on my screen.
Yeah, I saw that there, and I already went like what in my head, and then I just went what again because I like forgot that was there.
But so he's the guy that's running my like core system seminar, and he's like a nice guy, but I wonder how he became a lecturer. Because he has like a nervous stutter that goes away, but like initially he'll just kind of like start going, and then he never really finishes talking. He just sort of trails off. And it's like, I mean, he's not seem like a bad guy, but it's just he trails off like that, and sometimes it's hard to tell like if he's actually like trying to tell us something or if he's just kind of like going. And our RA took this class with him like a number of years ago, back when she was first becoming a course assistant, and like she just found it annoying. And it hasn't been too bad lately. I mean, we did our Title IX training today, and I learned like if someone gets diddled, you should actually no. The example they gave us as an instructor. So the whole point of like Title IX training is that since I am now technically an employee of the university, I have to follow certain rules regarding if a student tells me that something not good happened, something that may have involved with them getting hurt, or other people, or places, things going in places. And the example they gave was like, let's say, a student emails you and says, hey, I have to turn my homework in late because I was in the hospital last night because my boyfriend beat me up. Like,
no one's going to say that.
Yeah. And so the idea is that if we get that, we have to report it and like connect them to the right resources. Which, like, yeah, of course, sometimes I'm going to report it. Like, that's just like, it's a human being thing to do. But it's like, you could come up with anything else. Like, no other examples.
Speaking of... Okay, go ahead.
Like, just like, think, like, there's so many, like, I don't know, someone was like, they had like a weird, like an odd looking bruise on their neck. Or like, just something other than, I was in the hospital because my boyfriend assaulted me. Like, really? No other examples? It's their job to, like, handle this stuff. They've probably seen plenty of things. Why go with one of the least likely examples? Because, like, people don't like to talk about that stuff because it's difficult to talk about. I wouldn't expect someone to just drop that in an email, especially to me, because they'd send that to the TA, not me. Because, like, that, I feel like I don't really collect homework. I just kind of make sure help them. But the training was fine. It was pretty basic. It was like, if you see something, say something, some reports to you, like the rules you have to follow regarding privacy and confidentiality, and how like I'm technically a mandatory reporter now. But yeah, that was that. And tangent. Alex, you were saying something?
Yes. I just wanted to butt in and say that I meant to. I noticed that someone had just kind of dropped their keys on the ground in one of my lecture halls earlier today. F to them.
Big F.
And I meant to pick them up at the end of class and call university police and be like, should I bring these to you guys? And then I kind of forgot, and I feel bad.
Well, someone's lost their keys. They're having a bad day.
Yes, I hope they found them.
Yeah.
They probably didn't, all things considered. They probably just like had someone pick them up.
Man, I bet someone... See, I'd be worried that someone would steal it and then actually take the time and try and find my car.
Yeah. Because, like, it's a car.
Especially because, like, my keys have a Volkswagen logo on them, right? So it's like...
Well, yeah, this had a Chevy logo on it. So it's like, it's a Chevy.
It narrows down the options.
And then it's a pretty old key, so I know it's probably a pre-2008 Chevy.
It's just a matter of, like, process of elimination. And the campus, like, it's big. It's not that big.
Yeah, like, if it was a key, I would guess that it's probably a commuter, not an on-campus student. So I'd probably go to one of the commuter lots first.
Yeah. And then just run through there, beep it, and like you could legitimately steal someone's car that way.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop bringing my keys to class. That scared me. With that being said, the Sleepdrunk podcast can be found on any of your favorite social... God damn it!
The Sleepdrunk podcast can be found on any of your favorite podcasting platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, and more.
Also, don't forget to share the show. We really appreciate it. We've been getting a good bit of growth in listenership lately, so if you're new, welcome once again. Hope if you have any friends that you think might be interested, let them know.
Definitely do that, and we'll catch you next week.
We forgot the song of the day.
No, we'll catch you next week because you're always first.
And so, the song of the day for last episode was "Record of Me" by Joe Henderson. I just kind of picked that randomly. I like that song. It's a good song. If you guess the song of the day that we use to censor ourselves, you can tweet us or hit us on any of our social media or via email. And if you guess it, and you have a chance at a shout out at the next episode. We'll catch you next week.